subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer. And baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
I never thought that soccer could make me upset. But I've been getting into this World Cup, and we'll talk about the ratings, and a lot of you are also following this World Cup. So FanDuel is doing a promotion where you make a wager on a game. The wager has to be at least $20, and then for every goal in that game, you get $5 worth of bonus bet. So, for example, I bet on Germany a couple of days ago. There were 8 total goals scored in that game. So I got my money back because Germany obviously won that game. And then I got $40 worth of bonus bets. I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I'm thinking, this is easy. This morning, I get up. I'm on my run. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Why don't I place a wager on Spain? Because they're a big favorite. They're playing Cape Verde, first time in the World Cup. Spain's the favorite. They should win this game easily. This is going to be more free money. I made a terrible mistake. The thing that upsets me the most and why I can't do the regular show open is you would expect my brother, my friend Rob, to have my back. You would expect Rob to be supportive. But no, Rob was not supportive. He was laughing at me. He was cheering for Cape Verde. He wanted to see me lose. He wanted to see me fail. I tell you guys all the time that Rob is my biggest op. Not the text line, not the other station. It's Robert Lamar Brenton. It is my biggest op. And I saw it play itself out in real time. It was real nasty work. I appreciate you listening. Thank you so much for listening. We are going to begin today's show with the World Cup. This is probably the most soccer I've ever watched in my entire life. I am locked into the World Cup. I'm engaged in the World Cup. I know what groups people are in. I have been keeping up with this thing. I got it on right now, a little Belgium and Egypt right now on the television. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to talk some NBA. We're going to talk Darren Peterson. You guys might find this hard to believe, but Darren Peterson has not changed. All that same nonsense that he was doing at Kansas, he's still doing it. You thought it was over? No, he's still doing the same nonsense in this draft process that he was doing at Lawrence. He's still up to shenanigans as always. We'll talk about Bobby Witt Jr. The Big 12 is trying to force Texas Tech hand. We got a lot of stuff to get into in today's show. Before we move any forward, I need to remind you guys of a couple of things. Number one, when you listen to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to listen to the show. Number three, and most importantly, I need you to go stop by and see our friends over at The Other Place. Today is a Burger and Brew Monday, so if you want to go in and you want to watch world-class international soccer, if you want to go in and get yourself a burger, if you want to go in and get yourself a brew, you know where? The best place to do that is with our good friends over at The Other Place. Go stop by any one of the area 5 locations. I'm telling you, you would appreciate it. So, Rob, let's start with this. Because unlike you, I celebrate your happiness. I want you to be happy. So Rob and I stayed at the Peanut, and I want to thank everybody that came out on Friday to watch soccer with us and watch the United States. And let me tell you, it was a fun time. I'm excited. Everybody else is excited. The drinks were flowing. The people at the Peanut could not have been any nicer to us. They had the vuvuzelas going. They were passing out scarves and T-shirts. Everybody was happy. And I saw the joy that was on Robert Britton's face. And Rob looked at me and he said, "This is the best I've ever seen the United States play soccer." Now, you know me. I'm a little bit of a skeptic. I will admit, I got a little bit of hateration in me. Not a lot of it, but I got a little bit of hateration. And I looked at Rob and I said, how sorry is Paraguay that they're getting smoked by the United States? Rob became incessant. He was angry. No, I'm telling you, they're good. They're better. Rob was genuinely pleased and thrilled about the United States in the World Cup. They got a game coming up on Friday. They play Friday at 2 o'clock. Happy Juneteenth to you and yours. So, Rob, I will volley the open to you. Normally, the open is me rambling for 10 minutes about God knows what. But the biggest story in Kansas City, and we'll get to the ratings here coming up in a little bit, it is the United States soccer team. I know some of you, I hate soccer. I don't care about that. It's going to be a long summer for you because outside of Los Angeles, California, there was not a city in the United States with a higher percentage of people that watch the U.S. soccer game than Kansas City. You are not going to be able to get away with it, especially with the Royals playing the way that they're playing. So unless a Chiefs player is going to get arrested at some point, and that's still on the board, I'm telling you, you're going to hear a lot of soccer over the next couple of weeks. So maybe sports talk radio ain't your thing. I would come back once we get closer to training camp. But Rob, I saw the glee in your eyes. I haven't seen that sparkle before. You were pleased. How are you feeling with the United States after their first round or group play? Are you starting to dream big and think big after what you saw them do on Friday to Paraguay?
Yes, I'm starting to dream big. I'm starting to think a quarterfinal is in play. I'm trying to keep myself grounded because it is just one match. It is Paraguay. But that is the best I have seen the United States play soccer maybe since 2002. They were incredible. We love a cross-sport analogy on this show. So imagine in college football, you have a documentary about the 2007 Missouri and Kansas team. Those teams throttled lesser competition, Central Michigan, those type of teams. And at the time, everyone thinks, okay, cool, you beat Central Michigan. Who cares? It's not just they did it, it's the how. The United States dominated for basically 90 minutes. They had a momentary lapse that led to a goal. They will tighten that up, I presume. But the absolute dominance they showed over Paraguay gives me hope that this team can finally live up to their talent that they have been spewing about how great it is. And people like me have been talking about it's the golden generation forever. Their performance on Friday has me believing they can be a quarterfinal team because Friday, Juneteenth, 2 o'clock against Australia, if you win, you basically have won the group, which is a near perfect situation to be in heading into match day 2.
We like to relay the ratings for you guys. I knew that the U.S. was going to do very, very well when it came to the ratings, but seeing these ratings was mind-blowing. If you are just factoring in Fox, now you might be thinking, well, what do you mean? Well, for the national ratings, they include Telemundo. Now, I think we would admit there are cities in the United States with just much more of a Spanish population than the United States. So if you were including Fox and Telemundo, Los Angeles, Miami, Houston, Dallas, larger cities, larger international population, not surprised that those cities beat Kansas City if you are factoring in the over-the-air Fox broadcast, so Fox 4, also Telemundo. If you remove Telemundo, these were the top 5 markets in the United States for the United States and Paraguay game. Kansas City was 1, Boston 2, San Diego 3, Dallas 4, St. Louis 5. I was telling this to somebody who lives in New York because I was curious, hey, are you guys excited about the World Cup? And their answer to me was, no, for the most part, we see it as a hassle. It affects the way that we live. We hate what it's done to the train, how expensive it is. It has just been an inconvenience. I am starting to get the exact opposite sense in Kansas City. I think most Kansas Cityans know this is a really true once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The United States will host the World Cup again. It will go back to New York. It will go back to Los Angeles. It will go back to Dallas. There are some cities which, if you are coming to America to do a major sporting event, you are on the list. Kansas City is usually not included. I mean, they are not in Las Vegas, for example. The Bears and their new stadium will probably have a chance the next time that the United States hosts the World Cup. I think Kansas City sees and understands that this is a once-in-a-lifetime type event. And I do think there are a lot of people that proudly wear the scarf of, we are the soccer capital of the United States, and now we have a chance to show you on the absolute biggest stage. So when they go to a live shot in Power and Light, and they go to a live shot at FanFest, you see all of the people. You see the television ratings. It has just started. There's a lot of people off on Friday because of the holiday. Kansas City will once again put up a pretty big number. And if the United States continues to play how they have played in the first game of the World Cup, that number will only get bigger and bigger. Not just on a local level, on a national level, people will wrap their arms around this United States soccer team. I told you guys last week, the relationship between America and the soccer team is different because they are the only team in which we feel like underdogs. This is not our sport. This is the world's thing. This is not our thing. But we got a chance to beat you at your own game and also celebrate patriotism at the same time. Oh, that's killing two birds with one stone. So if this team continues to play how I saw them play on Friday and dominate for that first 45 minutes, it could be a really enjoyable summer following the United States men's national team. We're going to bounce around today. There's not really one, I would say, dominant topic in today's show, but I do want to talk about the New York Knicks. I also want to tell you a story about one of the most proud moments that I've ever had in my life. I'll share you with that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The world is coming to Kansas City. Is your parking lot ready? Over at Gann Asphalt and Concrete, they'll make sure that your parking lot is inviting, safe, and of course, your project being cost-effective. Find them at GannAsphalt.com. One contractor, all things parking lot.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
We all have that one painting project we've been putting off. For me, it was the exterior. I finally called CertaPro Painters, and you know what? I wish I'd done it sooner. They provide a free estimate quickly and at the right price. And what I loved most was the communication. I never had to wonder what was next because they provided reliable daily updates. They treat your home with respect, like it deserves. So schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Right, soccer fans, listen up. If you'd like a proper celebration, come on, you know where to go this summer. Gordon Ramsay Steak inside Harrah's, Kansas City is the place to be. Now, we're talking beautiful marble cuts, cooked to absolute utter perfection, and flavors you can't get anywhere else. Stop settling for mediocre and let me help you. Come in, sit down, and let my team show you how to cook a proper steak. Now, 21 or older to gamble, know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
And now at Staples, save 25% on all custom banners.
Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. Some banners available same day when ordered by 12 p.m. Hence 8-1 exclusions apply.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's a World Soccer Championship Team Spotlight, brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Germany is in rebuild mode, but never count them out. A tenacious central midfielder drives the engine room while young forwards bring speed and creativity. Their tactical discipline and tournament pedigree remain formidable.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Lockridge, and I'm the host of a new podcast from Odyssey called Family Lore. In this podcast, I'm going to have people on to tell unusual and sometimes far-fetched stories about their families.
I've heard my whole life that she invented the margarita.
And then, we're going to investigate those stories and find out how much of it is true.
He gets a patent 1 month before the Wright brothers. Oh my God.
Please follow and listen to Family Lore, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
Join us for Parlays and Pints with Mac Maury and Drew Nixon at Beckett's in the Crossroads on Saturday, June 20th from 3 to 5 as we broadcast live along with our friends at Circus Sports. Sports betting the way it should be. CircusSports.com. 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
Text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, I love the show. I'd love to hear your opinion on watching the UFC this weekend, especially about Josh Holkett. Y'all just want to yell at me on the text line. You don't want my opinion on that. You really don't. I don't feel like arguing with the text line today. I'm in a good mood. It's beautiful outside. I had a very productive morning. You guys don't want my opinion on that guy. I think he's a clown. I had no clue who he was. I hope eventually someone beats the tar out of that man for what I saw him do yesterday. Absolute clown. That's the short version of what I think about what I witnessed yesterday at the UFC event. Someone else texted this in. C-Dot, did you know that restaurants have a built-in gratuity because of this World Cup nonsense? I went to Jack Stack and they told me this. I actually did know that. I will say this, Rob, if there's one thing that I know about the text line is you guys are over tippers. I don't want you complaining about this built-in gratuity for 18%. No. Rob, you remember when you and I had the conversation about do you tip the barber? And how I was like, hey, the barber can set whatever price he wants. If the barber thinks his haircut's worth $50, then charge $50. You guys were like, no, you got to charge $50, then you got to tip him an extra $50, and then you got to get him a Christmas gift. So I don't want to hear the text line complain to me about gratuity. Whenever it comes to tipping, y'all always got it on the text line. So I don't care. Give Jack Stack the 18% is what I would encourage you to do. Support local.
Also, it's the exact same as before, as opposed to giving the 20% on top of the bill. It's just built into the bill.
I agree. I'm just saying I don't want to now hear the text line complaining about tipping, where if we did a regular tipping segment 3 weeks ago, the text line, everybody on the text line making $300,000 a year just is over generous. I don't want to hear the nonsense.
Also, they tip, hey, I tipped my guy at Sonic, McDonald's. They're tipping everyone.
Everywhere. Yeah. No, I don't want to hear it. No, I don't know what to tell you. Pay the 18%. Is what I would tell you. I do want to talk about the New York Knicks, but let me tell you a story. So I will admit to you guys, I've fallen off from the gym just a little bit. I'm only going 2 days a week, but I have been very diligent in my walks every single day. Rob, you can attest. I'll post it if I need to. I've been getting around 12,000 steps a day. I try to go on 3 30-minute walks at least every single day. Now, some days I do a little bit different. Like earlier today, I just did a 90-minute walk, and I plan on doing one later. I try to get up. I got my headphones. I got my podcast for the day. I go on a walk. I get it done early in the morning. Then I go home. I eat breakfast. I watch Love Island. I got a little bit of a routine that's going on. So on Saturday, I start all of this. I know that it's going to rain a little bit later in the day. So I'm thinking to myself, let me just get my run in. Let me get my walk in now. Now, I have been incorporating a little bit more running into it. And I don't want to make you think I'm doing running the entire time, but for like 5-10 minutes, I'll get a good consistent jog while I'm going on this thing. Well, Rob, I start off and I'm walking. And I'm thinking, I think I can beat the rain for a little bit. Well, on Saturday morning, out of nowhere, it just starts pouring. And I'm thinking, oh boy, I'm about 25 minutes away from the house. I mean, I gotta walk. I gotta run in all of this. So you know what I decided to do, Rob? I just started running. And I was like, you know what? Let me spend as little amount of time out here as theoretically possible. Now, let me get to the moral of this story, the point of this story, because this is something I will remember for the rest of my life. Rob, when I was outside and I was running, and I'm doing it, I'm huffing, I'm running, there is a pack of people. They are also running. Now, these guys are way more fit than I am. They all had their shirts off. They look like they had been running for years. I just started doing this. Rob, the acknowledgement that these people gave me as I was running, it was the, you're a part of our club. It was the, I see you, keep at it. Oh, it gave me all the encouragement that I needed, Rob. You know how when you are doing something and then somebody gives you that head nod to let you know, hey, you're doing a good job, man. I see you, man. That's the head nod I got from these group of runners because they saw the dedication that I have to all of this. I'm outside running and it's pouring. It was one of the most rewarding feelings I've ever had in my entire life. I wasn't skilled enough to turn around and start running with them. They was running way too fast for me. That was not my skill level at this point. I've learned to just stick to the rivers and lakes that I'm used to. But while I was on this run, Rob, for these random people to see me as one of them, for them to accept me as one of their own, it was a very encouraging feeling. It was the most rewarding process in this entire journey.
Sounds like you're on the brink of calling Lad and joining his run club.
Again, a little bit above my skill level. A little bit above my skill level. See, I've learned what works for me now and what doesn't work. Food-wise, exercise-wise, I've formed a little bit of a routine. I'm very happy with the routine. I don't have any interest in going out there and running 8 to 10 miles. Right now, I'm happy with a nice little every day, trying to walk at least 90 minutes. A little early in the day, I get here. I'd usually try to walk, Rob, between 12 and 12:30, going a little bit of a walk. I then walk when I go home. And, I'm happy with all of that. But when I was forced to run and these people saw me as one of their own, a fellow runner, I was so happy, man. You guys don't understand how proud I was in that moment. They gave me the little salute too. Oh, my goodness. It warmed my heart. I was giddy. It made the rest of it easy. I was like, man, you know what? I'm really on the right path. I'm really doing what I'm supposed to do. I then went back out and ran some more. I had so much energy from just that small interaction. You never know what kind of kind gesture, what it means to somebody else, and how much it can motivate them. These people motivated me. They don't even know it. They have no clue that they motivated me. I just wanted to share that story with you about something that made me feel good, about something that put me in a positive spirit. Now, let me tell you something else that put me in a positive spirit. Now, Rob, I understand that I give you a lot of grief for your United States men's soccer love, but the only reason I give you grief is you guys, you, Rob, the text line, you guys laugh and make fun of me because I cheer for Missouri, and that's perfectly fine. I understand. It's all part of the game, but I strongly believe everybody cheers for Missouri in some form or fashion. Maybe you don't cheer for actual Mizzou, but you cheer for a team that gets you really excited and you think that this is the year, and then ultimately they let you down. And every year you go through this sports abusive cycle, and it is just part of what it means to be a fan of that team. We have signed up in American sports culture. That's what being a fan is. Being a fan is you start liking a team from childhood. It either gets passed down to you or you live in that place or however you come to cheering for this team, and you cannot switch teams. This is the team that you have. This is the team that you are stuck with. And it doesn't matter if they're the Kansas City Chiefs and they're winning championships, or it doesn't matter if they're the Kansas City Chiefs and they got Tyler Palko and Tyler Thigpen leading you to a 3-win season. This is the team that you are going to ride with. For a lot of people, their Mizzou was the New York Knicks. You've had some great successes. Think about how they talk about the 90s with Ewing and Starks and Ant Mason and Charles Oakley. You also had Eddie Curry. You also had Tyson Chandler. You also had some pretty bad Knicks teams there for a while. But you continue, you push through, you prevail. Because the belief is you put your time in as a sports fan, and then eventually at the end of the rainbow, there will be a pot of gold. You will have your day in the sun eventually. You cheer for Kansas football your whole life. Next thing you know, you wake up and your team is in the Orange Bowl. You have been rewarded for all of the years of fandom that you have put in. I think a major reason of why America has responded in the way that they have responded to the Knicks, not just New York, right? It's their team. I understand that. But why I think everybody else has responded the way that they've responded is because we all cheer for the Knicks. Whether you cheer for the Cleveland Browns, whether you cheer for the Minnesota Twins, whether you cheer for the Kansas City Royals, regardless of what team you cheer for, we all cheer for a form of the Knicks. So their story is very, very easy to follow and identify with. And it also doesn't hurt that their team's just incredibly likable. Who is there to dislike on the Knicks? How can you dislike Jalen Brunson? How can you dislike Karl Anthony Towns? What would your issue be with OG Anunoby or Josh Hart? This is not a superstar team that was put together that manipulated the system to come together, or guys that don't play hard, or guys that have off-the-court issues that you can't be proud of. The Knicks are one of the examples of a franchise, of how you can turn things around, of how you can stick together, of how you can sacrifice, of how you can play hard. I think that's why America has responded to the Knicks the way that they have. And you haven't seen a team celebrate a championship, not like the way you're going to see with this one. This is going to be 08 Celtics like. They're going on Jimmy Fallon today with the Roots. They were on Good Morning America. They will be everywhere for the next 90 days. They will be everywhere. They won a championship in New York, as you can maybe argue New York's most popular team. I mean, we've seen the Yankees win championships before in our lifetime. I don't remember it being like this. We've seen the Giants win championships before in our lifetime. I don't know if it was like how it just was with the New York Knicks. I think if they're all good, the Knicks might be the most popular team in New York. This team, you will be annoyed by how everywhere this team is going to be. Jalen Brunson said he wants to be on Law & Order. They might let him host the show. He might be a detective with Olivia Benson for an episode. Hell, maybe the whole season if he wants to. I really enjoyed watching this Knicks team. Congratulations to them. It was a lot of fun. It's weird to see an NBA Finals that was as non-competitive as that one was, with the team winning 4-1, but also as equally as competitive as that one was. We got 5 really good games with 5 very distinct storylines, even if the storyline felt like it continued and repeated. It was the same song over and over. Like, is there an artist in which you listen to their music and you're like, oh, this song sounds exactly like that last song? Like, oh, I've heard you do this before. All 5 of those games had the exact same formula. Spurs would get out to a big lead in the first 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and then the Knicks would just turn into the Knicks. So it didn't matter if it was game 1 and Jalen Brunson have an incredible fourth quarter, if it was game 2 and Victor Wembanyama had one of the worst 30 seconds you could possibly have, the Spurs going on the road and winning game 3, whether it was game 4, the largest come-from-behind victory in the history of the NBA Finals, or game 5, in which the Knicks basically did what they did the entire playoffs. Got down in the first half, continued to chip away. They left it close enough to allow Jalen Brunson to do what Jalen Brunson has done this entire spring/summer, which is just figure out a way to beat you. That was a really enjoyable basketball team to watch. Congrats to the Knicks.
Here's the $1 million question, because I agree with everything you say. Do you think they will pivot to become a villain in America? Because I think every team that you start to think about, like, oh, they had their moment paid off and we all celebrated them as can you believe they had that? They turn into a villain because now they've won. And the Knicks and Knicks fans are in New York and they had quite the party last night when they won. Do you think that lovability will dissipate if the Knicks continue to be winners? Because if there's one thing America loves, it's an underdog story. You know what they love second? When a person falls off at the top. Do you think the Knicks will become the villain of the NBA because they're New York and because all the likability will eventually dry up?
I mean, probably just because we're stupid. Like, we as fans and the public and the media, we are stupid. I tell you this all the time. We have forgotten and lost the ability to just think something is cool. Rob, think about the last 30 days with Victor Wembanyama. We went from the Spurs are about to win every championship for the next 10 years. We've never seen anything like Victor Wembanyama to now, I hate this guy. He's annoying. He's a bully. They've now turned into the 2012 Oklahoma City Thunder. This is why I always say, I know that the public say that they hate hot takes and all of these things. Man, the media is just a reflection of how people are. It's the content that you guys want. Fans are over the top and fanatical and wishy-washy, so the media reflects that. I love Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins said we need to dismantle the Spurs and dismantle the Oklahoma City Thunder. Based off what? No. So no. I mean, probably. Yeah, the answer to your question is probably. We will probably do that, for sure. 100%. No question. We will do that. We love the Knicks now. They will do something. We'll turn on them. We'll call them flukes. They'll turn it to a meme on social media so you can get your clicks and your likes and your jokes. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's how we do everything in American society now when it comes to sports. We saw it happen with the Chiefs. Remember when the Chiefs were the darlings and the Chiefs were going to save everybody from the New England Patriots? And then we just started finding reasons not to like them anymore. It was the wife, then it was the brother, then it was this thing. That's what we did for 2 years with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, yeah, of course, we will probably do that at some point. But I'm not going to let that stop me from liking this Knicks team. I think they were fun. I enjoyed them.
I mean, I kind of dislike them. That's only because it's 2018 Villanova, which is a team I just dislike inherently. But I think the pivot is coming. I think it will go from this is fun to, they're taking over our stadium and it's all celebrities and it'll be a problem. I think it's going to come sooner rather than later when it comes to the Knicks because New York teams are inherently hateable by the rest of the country.
Probably. Who do we like, though? I mean,
we don't like anyone.
I asked that honestly. Like, who do we like? Because America seems to really like Taylor Swift until we see Taylor Swift having a good time and then people dislike Taylor Swift. They're mad at her for just going to the game. She didn't say nothing to nobody. She didn't cause any problem. Oh, you're not a real Knicks fan. What? Why do we care about that? I don't care about that. No, what you're mad is they gave her free tickets to the game and you couldn't afford to go to the game. So now you mad that she was at the game having a good time. So no, we hate everybody. The internet does not like anybody. There's not a single human being that the internet likes. So I'm not going to let that stop me from liking Jalen Brunson. Good for him. I'm happy. I want to see the Knicks do all the things this summer. All of the things. I'm excited to watch The Tonight Show today with Jimmy Fallon. It's going to be their whole team is going to be on there, plus the Wu-Tang Clan. That sounds like my kind of content. Sign me up for today.
I mean, the fact that the Knicks are, in lockstep with Law and Order doesn't make them your team. Basically, you might love the Knicks now strictly because of Olivia Benson. That might be the connection I found.
Yeah, for sure. Someone on the text line says, "C-Dot, the Knicks lost all their lovability when their fans started attacking people in the streets because their team lost. I hate them. It doesn't make any sense to me why I wouldn't like the players on the team because of people not on the team. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, Makes little sense to me. It makes no sense to me. I don't like the team because of the people, or I don't care about. I mean, I obviously care about that person that got attacked. That's wrong. But yeah, that's silly to me. It doesn't make. That does not affect my joy of the team, watching them play basketball because of the fans on the team and the people. I don't understand that. Doesn't make any sense to me. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to get back to the World Cup. We are going to break down the United States win over Paraguay. They also have a game coming up on Juneteenth against Australia. We'll continue to break that down. Rob, are you getting the same sense that I am getting, that the Big 12 is clearly trying to force Texas Tech's hand? So if you have missed it, they had a teleconference with all of the Big 12 commissioners. Now, I believe on this teleconference, that all of the Big 12 ADs, presidents, I think they communicated to Texas Tech what they want to happen. They want Texas Tech to dismiss Brennan Sorsby, and I don't necessarily think that's the wrong play. But the Big 12 is doing this. How you do it at this level, they're trying to do it the legal way. So the Big 12 has filed a legal complaint in federal court against Texas Tech and the Texas AG, seeking a judgment and a preliminary injunction to enforce the bylaws and potentially sanction the school for its plans to play Brendan Sorsby. They are getting individual schools now to step up as well. So this is the Big 12 as a conference essentially saying, hey, Texas Tech, you guys need to follow the NCAA rules and guidelines. The NCAA said this player was ineligible. We want you guys to follow that. We say that he is ineligible. We want you to follow those guidelines. You now got individual schools on it. K-State is in on it. Kansas is in on it. A couple of other of the Big 12 schools, I'm guessing over time, they will get all of them on the same page on one side of, we all don't think that he should be able to play. I just continue to think that Texas Tech eventually is just going to be worn down by this, and eventually they're going to think that the juice is not worth the squeeze. It does remind me of that line from The Wire with Slim Charles where they talk about fight on that lie, and Texas Tech is absolutely fighting on that lie. But if you remember the show The Wire, they lost. They eventually lost. Marlowe won. Stringer went to jail, or Stringer died. Avon went to jail. They lost the war. I kind of think that's what's going to happen with Texas Tech here. Texas Tech is certainly doing their due diligence. They're fighting it. It makes sense. They have this piece of paper in their hand that says legally Brendan Sorsby can play. But I don't know how you move forward if everybody around you is telling you the exact same thing. All of your partners, and you guys are not just rivals in the conference, you guys have a business relationship together. You guys are all in a conference. You share television money. You schedule each other. You have to have some kind of working relationship. Just because I don't talk to Fesco all the time, we're on the same team. We're fighting the exact same race. We can't be at odds with each other. That's what you were seeing right now in the Big 12, that K-State, Kansas, Oklahoma State, all of these schools are declaring legally that they are at odds with Texas Tech. I don't know if that's a fight that you're prepared to keep up for the next 6 months, the next 7 months as you try to go win a national championship. I think at some point Texas Tech is just going to be forced to do this because the mob is going to tell them this is what you need to do.
It is very surprising to me that Texas Tech has dug its heels in the way they have for Brendan Sorsby. It legitimately surprises me. I thought, listen, college sports has changed, sports has changed. I thought we all agreed, hey, betting on the games is a hard and fast. You cross this line, we all say you're done. Texas Tech found a loophole and now is playing a victim when it comes to his gambling. So I applaud Gene Taylor. I applaud Douglas Gerard, the president of Kansas. I applaud everyone in the Big 12 for saying, no, we're not going to let you have a workaround. We're not going to let you have a loophole for this player. He broke the rules. He should not be playing. I know we're against break. Do you hate as much as I do that you have to have a law degree now to understand how these rules are enforced in college sports? I didn't go to law school, and now I have to understand about federal law injunctions and Texas and Kansas AGs and how they're handling the eligibility of a gambler at quarterback. That shouldn't be the way sports is working. I shouldn't need a paralegal on the show just to understand what's happening right now with Brendan Sorsby.
Yeah, I think what's happening with Brendan Sorsby is actually kind of straightforward. Texas Tech is completely operating within their legal right. Brendan Sorsby is legally allowed to play college football. But I think what you were seeing is all of the people within college football, they are now trying to set the rules for themselves, which their argument is a very strong argument. We all are signed up to this NCAA system, no matter how broken we think it is, and the NCAA has declared this player ineligible. We're simply asking that you follow the rules of the NCAA, which is a little bit funny because none of them follow the rules of the NCAA. They have just determined this is the rule that one person and one school needs to follow. It's going to be a very interesting court case over the course of the next couple of months or so. All right, coming up on the other side, I want to get back to the World Cup. I want to play a quick game. We'll do that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. You could be looking at one of the matchups this weekend. That's right, Ecuador versus Curacao. Maybe they can upset. Maybe even not even upset in the normal way. You could trade just for a tie, trading at 13% right now, which means a $100 investment could see a return of $725. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house, and as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time only, download the Kalshi app and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade 10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi, trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contracting and trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, go to Kalshi.com/regular.
Hey DQ fans, nothing could make Father's Day more memorable than a DQ cake. Treat Dad, aka Pops, Poppy, or Papa, to one of our delicious fudge and crunch cakes. Or get a cake in one of our other Blizzard treat flavors like Oreo cookie. Customize your DQ cake with a message that celebrates the big guy and all the wonderful things he does. Trust us, it's a lot more fun than a pair of socks or another wacky tie. Only at participating DQ locations. Happy tastes good.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Seid at Rob Seid Ford. Bob, I smell a grill. What's cooking?
Kevin, the grills are fired up, and so are the deals. Right now at Rob Seid Ford, it's the Ford Employee Pricing Sales Event with the best deals we've had in the past 12 months.
Now that's saying something. What are we talking?
Employee pricing on virtually every new Ford on our lot, plus even more dealer discounts on top.
So how hot do these deals get?
Up to $17,500 off brand new F-150s at Rob Seid Ford, plus huge savings on Expedition, Explorer, Bronco Sport, Bronco, and more.
Wow, that's 5 alarm hot.
Exactly, and unlike Kevin's Burgers, these deals are coming out juicy.
All right, I walked into that one.
Shop Rob Seid Ford, Kansas City's top-rated Ford store on Google. 4.8 stars and nearly 3,500 reviews.
Rob Seid Ford, 135th and State Line, or robseid.com.
Buy right, Rob Seid.
This summer, grab a Truly Hard Seltzer. Light, bubbly, fruity, and make your dreams come truly. Join us for our game day watch parties on June 12th, 19th, and 25th at Peanuts locations. Truly Hard Seltzer, the official hard seltzer of U.S. Soccer. Visit Odyssey.com/965thefan for more info on watch parties. And visit TrulyHardSeltzer.com/locations to find Truly near you. Hard Seltzer Beverage Company, LLC, Boston, Massachusetts. Hard Seltzer, 5% alcohol by volume. Please drink responsibly. 21 plus only.
From backyard barbecues to homegrown herbs, the best parts of summer start at Lowe's. Right now, get 3 Ferry-Morse 1.3 quart vegetables and herbs for just $12. Plus, get 4 bags of Miracle-Gro 0.75 cubic foot garden soil for only $10. Whether you're planting something new or giving your garden a refresh, now's the time to make the most of your outdoor space. Save more on what you need this summer at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 6/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Join us at 96.5 The Fans World Soccer Headquarters at the Peanut in Belton on June 19th with Bink and Logan starting at 11 and kickoff at 2. Presented by Truly, the official seltzer of U.S. Soccer, and by Security Bank of Kansas City. Boldly local since 1933.
This afternoon, expect sunny skies with a high of 80.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
All right, Rob, we are going to play a very, very quick game. We are going to play Kansas City Fan Festival Price is Right. Now, I know a lot of you plan on going down there to the Fan Fest. I plan on going down there to the Fan Fest. Now, it is important to note that it is free to go to Fan Fest. All you got to do is go on the app and register for your free tickets. Having a lot of fun down there. Tech Nine's performing down there. They got watch parties down there so you can check out the game. They got the Chain Smokers. They're going to perform. Flow Ride is going to be down there on Friday. It should be a great time for those of you that are going down there to Fan Fest. Well, Rob, the internet is up in arms about the prices of food and drink down at Fan Fest. So you know what? I want to play a really quick game with you. Let's say that you and your lady, you and Caroline, you guys are going to a World Cup game. Let's say that you guys make the decision to go downtown. You're going to catch the streetcar over to Fan Fest. You're going to move around, see Fan Fest for a little bit, and then you're going to take a bus ride from Fan Fest over to the stadium and enjoy the soccer festivities. So I have included the ticket for the shuttle in there. I'll go and tell you, which is $15 a piece. You got to pay for yourself. You also got to pay for Caroline. So that's an extra $30 on top of everything else. But let's say while you're out there, you know what? You get a little bit hungry. You get a little bit thirsty while you're out there. So you know what you've determined, Rob? You want to celebrate. You don't just want to get a tall boy. Let's say that you and your wife want to get a real drink. You're going to get a Casamigos tequila cocktail. Now, you got to do it big here. You're getting yourself the double. You're not just getting the single, you're getting the double. So, Rob, I have written down for you 2 Casamigo Blanco tequila doubles. I also have 2 Jamaica's Italian sausages because you got to put some food in your belly. How much do you think this would cost you in addition to the $30 that you would pay for the shuttle to take you from Fan Fest to Kansas City Stadium and from Kansas City Stadium after the match back to downtown Kansas City? How much all in do you think that would cost you?
Let's talk through the math together, because I believe Gold told me, who's been down at Fan Fest, that a regular domestic tall boy is like 20, which makes me think a premium tall boy is like 25. I'm betting cocktails like 27 to 30. A double probably ends up at like 32. So now I'm at $64 and I have only had alcohol. Then I'm thinking 30, so now I'm at $90. Italian sausage, 18 a pop. Give me $126 for that adventure of 2 hot dogs, basically, 2 Casamigos, and a trip to the game.
$118.
I was in the ballpark, and that's a bad ballpark to be in.
$118 for 2 drinks, 2 Italian sausages. Rob, they're charging $16 a piece for an Italian sausage. How big is this thing?
You can get a case of that at the grocery store.
2 Italian sausages are $32. The drinks are $28 a piece. You were close on the tall boy. The tall boy's $19 for a Michelob Ultra tall boy. 19. The double's 28. You get the double, your lady get a double. You got to get some food while you're out there. I even got you one of the low end food. I didn't get crazy and get you. You could have got crazy. You could have got the loaded nachos if you wanted. You could have got the pulled pork nachos. You could get a lobster roll while you're out there. The lobster roll's costing you $34. Now, who's walking around Kansas City with how hot it is right now eating lobster rolls? That's another question for another day. I'm just here relaying how much it costs down there. And you got to tell your girl, you got to tell the little ones, hey, you got to eat. We got to eat at home. You got to eat at home. I'm all for supporting the local businesses. I think it's great what they're doing. They got Arthur Bryant's down there and Char Bar and Jack Stack and a bunch of local businesses. If you think I'm paying $16 each for Jamaica's Italian sausage, I can't do it. No, sir, not me. I will not be participating in that activity. I'll go down to FanFest. I will not be eating anything at FanFest, nor drinking anything at FanFest.
There are plenty of stops on the streetcar where I can go get food and drink at a way more reasonable price before heading into FanFest. I also tell you, I saw a video from FanFest on Friday. You know, it's the U.S. national team playing. Like, right, wrong, or indifferent, one of like the traditions for the U.S. national team is when the team scores, you throw your beer in the sky. I am not throwing my $27 beer in the sky at FanFest. No thank you.
People got money like that?
Apparently. FanFest has had 400,000 people come through?
Yeah, I'm saying people got enough money to buy a $29 drink and then throw it in the air in celebration?
4 times, apparently.
Oh, that's not something I hope you're participating in. Rob, they're even taxing on the non-alcoholic drinks. Like, let's say you're out there with the little ones. You know, the little ones, they want something.
A little Pepsi or something.
You know how much a Pepsi is? Well, it's Coke products, but same concept.
Whatever.
It is $7 for a 20-ounce. It's $7 for a 20-ounce. Rob, they're charging $8 for a Powerade. Think about the little Powerade you get from the gas station. $8. $4 for the Dasani water.
Now, there are refill hydration stations.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Get that $8 worth of water.
Yeah, you know what they call that? The ATM. That's the refill machine. The ATM. $5 for a bag of chips? How big is this bag of chips? Are we talking about the little lunch-sized bag of chips? Or are we talking about a real legitimate bag of chips? Some tells me they charging $5 for the little guy.
A family size.
Hey, y'all got it, man. I'm here to tell you, y'all got it. Rob, this is almost how much one of my tickets were to the game.
Yeah, that's about right. Not right. I'm not saying that. That math's correct. I disagree with that being the number, but that math about adds up.
This is I spent a little, not a large bit more. My tickets were what, $130 a piece?
Do you think pricing at Kansas City Stadium when we go is going to be similar to that, or do you think it's going to look?
Absolutely. You think I'm eating there?
If you're a fan listener going tomorrow, hey, you got money.
Tell Shorty she got to go to the water fountain. I don't know. Hey, I'm thirsty. I go over there. I don't know what to tell you. Kind of go over there to the water fountain. I don't got it. I don't have it. I'm out. This is ridiculous. Again, I plan on going down to FanFest. I haven't been yet. The pictures look cool. The little heart that you walk into, like where it's located, the streetcar access, all of it looks cool. The overhead aerial shots from Friday night where the weather is beautiful, the United States is playing, they're winning, they're doing the live look-ins. It looked incredible out there. And I'm sure they're making money hand over fist. Like, somebody's buying the food out there. Somebody's buying the snacks out there. Somebody's drinking the alcohol out there. I'm just telling you, it will not be Carrington. Rob, they're charging $18 for the Cutwater?
I mean, that high ABV, I guess.
Yeah, okay, well, good luck to those of you that are going out to the game. I'm sure it'll be a great time for those in attendance. Coming up at the top of the hour, let's talk about the matchups that we have coming up today in the World Cup, and also the United States. They dominate Paraguay in their opening round match. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
As world soccer hits the big stage, take the field with Fanatics Sportsbook. It's built for fans who want more from their bet. This summer, Fanatics Sportsbook is making every moment count with 10 100% profit boosts over the first 10 tournament days. That's one profit boost per game day. So every time the world's best hits the pitch, you've got a chance to double your winnings. And every goal, every save, every result means more. Plus, new customers get up to $1,000 in fan cash. That's $100 bet match every day for your first 10 days. The world is ready. Are you? Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. CT, call 888-789-7777. MA, call 800-327-5050. NY, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatics Sportsbook app.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
This active storm season has made an impact on Kansas City roofs. And at Century Roofing, we're busier than ever. To keep up with demand, our award-winning team is now hiring loaders and repair technicians. We offer great pay, a strong team, immediate openings, and room to grow with our KC-based, female-owned company, trusted for over 35 years. Apply in person or online today at CenturyRoofingKC.com. Trust the pillars of strength.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Hello. Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spell book.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
If you're looking for a new job and to work for a great local company, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is hiring. Top pay in the industry, health, vision, dental insurance, paid time off, and advancement opportunities. Check them out at GannAsphalt.com. One contractor, all things parking lot.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening rounds all the way to the final. Last week, Spain was trading at 17% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade could pay out $572 if they win soccer's biggest prize. Want to know what they're at today? Check Kalshi. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code PITCH to get a $10 credit when you trade $10. Kalshi, Kalshi, trade on anything. 18 plus only, must be present in state where it is legal to trade. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, value, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. $10 free credit with no expiration. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
Join us on June 18th at Minsky's in City Market from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for our U.S. Open watch party as Cody and Gold broadcast live starting at 10 with your chance to win an official Sun Cruiser golf bag and more. Presented by Sun Cruiser, the official canned cocktail of the U.S. Open. 96.5, The Fan.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Sun, sand, and stress-free travel start with Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking. Keep your car cool with all covered parking and enjoy fast shuttles right to the terminal. Reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family-owned, customer approved.
You already know that every Royals game is right here on 96.5 The Fan. But if you're looking for more Royals coverage, tune in to hear Royals insider Josh Fernier throughout the week. He joins Fesco and Dusty every Monday morning at 8:20. Cody and Gold every Wednesday at 12:30. And he joins The Drive every Friday at 3. Miss anything? Check it out on the show podcast or All Things Fern Channel, wherever you get your podcasts. This is your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Join us on June 18th at Minsky's in City Market, starting at 10 for our U.S. Open watch party as Cody and Gold broadcast live with your chance to win an official Sun Cruiser golf bag. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Daniel Sperry. He is with the Kansas City Star. He covers sport in Kansas City, also covers the Current. And he is going to be our World Cup correspondent here over these next few weeks as we navigate through this tournament. Daniel, I have never been more mad at a team like I am right now with Spain when I don't really know anybody that's on the team, but I bet them earlier today and they tie Cape Verde. I was over here steaming mad at what I was watching.
And I think the fan everywhere else, if you didn't have money on Spain or were Spanish, I think everyone in the world was cheering that result from Cape Verde. I mean, what a small nation, right? A cup, maybe 250,000 people holding Spain scoreless and onslaught there. One foul. They're so disciplined in everything they did. It was just a crazy. That's the stuff of the World Cup that I think us soccer sickos, as we'll call it, really, really love, is when those countries like that pull up unexpected performances against the Giants.
All right, so let's start with the United States. And I was watching the game with Rob, and Rob looked at me at one point while we were watching and he said, "This is as well as I've ever seen the United States play." Do you echo that sentiment with how they played on Friday against Paraguay?
100%. I think there's been performances where the U.S. has played, and I've loved the grit, the idea behind it, but like I think back to 2009 when they beat Spain in the Confederations Cup. Spain had won like 50 straight games. That was not a game where they went out and like you just said, "Oh, what a great tactical attacking masterclass." Like this was a game where attacking and defensively, it was a complete masterclass from the U.S. They shut down a Paraguay team that was very, very stingy defensively and put 4 past them. Probably could have had close to 5 or 6, if I'll be honest. That is the best U.S. performance I've ever seen in a World Cup. And I just, you watch a game like that and you think of all the years of, especially covering this sport and waiting for rights to even kick in for Major League Soccer at a national level, and some of those kind of things along the way developing to watch the national team perform like that. And I think if you've seen the numbers, I mean, it's over between Telemundo and Fox. I mean, it's like almost 25 million people around the U.S. tuned into that game. And that, looking at that, like that's a great statement for U.S. soccer to put out there and say, no, this is who we are and where we're going as a soccer country. And that performance was unbelievable. Tactically, from the effort, the atmosphere at SoFi was killer. LA Stadium, whatever I'm supposed to call it. But it could not have gone better for the U.S. as a host country in the World Cup to start out that way and in that fashion, because I think it turned a lot of heads of the American, media that have been around it. I had people texting me, wow, how is this team? Did you expect a team to play that well? And my answer, of course, is no. But then on top of it, to see the international media kind of look at it and say, whoa, the U.S. team has kind of arrived in a way. That's what happened, and I think that's what stunned everybody.
Right now, we're talking to Daniel Sperry. He is going to be our World Cup correspondent. He covers soccer for the Kansas City Star. Now, Daniel, I want you to know that over the course of the next 5 to 6 weeks, all of my observations about soccer only come from watching this tournament. Like, they don't come from any other place. Like, I just want you to know that. So you're like, oh, how'd you know that? Everything I know, I've learned in the last 3 days, or Rob has told me this. But as I'm watching the U.S., they appear to be more athletic in the front court than I think they've been in years past. And I feel like on past U.S. teams, there's really only been one guy that I think can score. I feel like there's 3 or 4 guys on this team that could potentially put the ball in the net. Like, this just seems to be a more top-heavy U.S. team than I think we've seen in years past.
Yeah, I mean, I believe 13 of the 26 players on the roster play in Europe's top 5 leagues, and I think you're seeing that quality with exactly what you described. Like that front 3, Christian Pulisic plays at AC Milan, plays in Serie A, has played in the Champions League, plays in, he played Serie A. The Serie A is the top league in Italy, and those are guys that, used to say in the past, like, all right, you've had one of those guys. But Malik Tillman also plays for one of the best teams in Germany, in Bayer Leverkusen. And Florian Balogun plays for AS Monaco, who was a very good team in Europe and in France again this year, and he's their top striker. You have Weston McKennie playing for Juventus, who is a historic team, along with AC Milan in Italy. On top, Tyler Adams played with Bournemouth, who are going to play in the Champions League next year from the Premier League. I mean, you've got players all around that group that play at an extremely high level internationally now, way more so than ever. So you do have that look, like you said, of, all right, as a pass, it might have been you have Clint, you have Landon, and you might have a big guy that can win a couple of headers, and then it's just kind of grit in behind him and hope, you can try and keep teams to one goal or so and maybe poke 1 or 2 past them and get the win. And this is a team that looks like it can go out and win games that it's expected to, 3-0, 2-0, that kind of stuff. I think I predicted a 3-1. I won't say I was mad when Gio Reyna put in that 4th goal, but that's a player that plays at a very top level in Germany and I know he's had a lot of ups and downs in his career, but to have that moment on that and that type of player coming off the bench, that's huge. And, even a guy like Ricardo Pepi, who came in and got a chance late, he comes off the bench. He could probably start. He plays for one of the best teams in Holland. And we know the Dutch national team that they're staying here, they're extremely good too. And that league is no slouch league, even though I don't know if I'd consider it one of the top 5. But that's the type of talent that the U.S. is finally working with. And I think you saw a lot of it on display at the highest level against Paraguay.
Looking ahead in this tournament, and right now we're talking to Daniel Sperry. He covers soccer for the Kansas City Star. How would you handicap their match on Friday against Australia? I mean, the United States have a chance to outright win their group if they win on Friday. How are you feeling heading into the matchup coming up later in the week?
I feel pretty good about it. I'm watching the Australia-Turkey game was interesting because Australia got an early goal and then they kind of sat back and then got another late one. That late goal was a kind of a long shot from distance that kind of made it through some legs. And I don't know that those are the shot types that the U.S. really gives up. And I think Matt Freese, the goalkeeper that we saw starting, is usually pretty good at handling stuff like that from distance. I'll give Australia credit. It was a great shot from outside, but those are, shots from distance like that are the few and far between rare runs, and you kind of tip your cap when they end up going in. The first goal that they scored is kind of where their danger is. And I think the U.S. is going to have a lot of the ball in the way that Turkey did against Australia. But what's going to happen is that they've got to find a way to be patient. Turkey had like 30 shots. There's a fun stat that we like to use in soccer called expected goals, and it kind of measures the quality of the shot that you take and how likely it is to become a goal, basically kind of based on defender positioning, goalkeeper positioning, where you're at in location to the goal, and even like historical chances of people finishing a similar shot. Kind of takes it all in one equation. They only were expected to score like 1.5 goals on 30 shots. That's not great. And so if you're a team like the U.S., less shots but higher quality shots is better. And that's going to take a lot of patience with an Australian team that's going to be okay not having the ball as much and try and beat the U.S. on the counter. I do think that kind of plays into what made the U.S. so good against Paraguay, though, because that was kind of Paraguay's MO, and they weren't able to do it. I think there will be a few more numbers behind the ball from Australia than Paraguay, but I think it'll be a 4-1 win, anything over a 2-0 win, I think, would absolutely shock me for the U.S. But Australia is going to be a very feisty and physical team. It's going to be I think it's going to be a pretty tough matchup for the U.S. and not just. I just, from watching the way the two played, I feel like Australia's got a lot of pride, and they're really set up very compact and well disciplined, kind of in the way that Cape Verde was today against Spain. And I think that'll pose some problems for the U.S. and it'll be interesting to see how they try and solve that puzzle that sits out in front of them.
Daniel, don't talk to me about expected goals after I bet on Spain earlier today. Don't talk to me about that, bro. Because I'm sitting there, Rob's sitting there reading the stats, and he's like, they have 3 expected goals, but they don't have any actual goals. Don't talk to me about expectation goals if they don't have any tangible ones.
But I think that's the beauty of soccer, is that, like, it's you can sit there and you say, well, we expect to get these points. Well, soccer doesn't always work that way, and I think that's why it makes it so unpredictable when you get results like that. For places like Cape Verde and places like maybe Australia too against Turkey. I mean, they lost the expected goals battle. It happens a lot of times in soccer. If you can be more resolute, if you can be better in the mind, and I think sometimes that's where those differences really show up, is that mentality of, can you be patient? Can you wait for the right chance? Do you end up like Turkey, who's a younger team than the U.S.? They got a little flustered. They were shooting a lot from outside of the box, kind of trying to force things by doing a lot of action, but not really doing a whole lot in reality. And so it's the fun part of soccer, man. There's so many ways to cut the pie, and in reality, it's just the same thing. Can you get the ball in the back of the net and keep it out of yours?
I got 2 questions, Daniel. We appreciate your time. We'll get you out of here. I think it's been kind of obvious who the disappointing teams have been, but I'm talking now looking a little bit big picture. Now, maybe this question has changed because more teams will advance to the knockout round than ever before, but out of the Cape Verde, out of a couple of the teams that we've seen that have kind of exceeded expectation in their first game, is there a team or two that kind of has you thinking, hey, this team might be a little bit better, this team might be more dangerous than I originally thought entering this tournament?
I'm going to go with Ivory Coast. I thought their performance against, or Cote d'Ivoire, however you want to say it, I thought their performance against Ecuador was interesting. Ecuador could have won that game, hit the post a couple of times, but they're also a really highly talented team. They're very physical. They're facing a team that's very similar to them in Ecuador, but I like the way they came out of that game, and I think the Ivory Coast, if France kind of struggles a bit, and I believe Ivory Coast actually in Germany's group, but I think that Ivory Coast Germany matchup is going to be a really interesting one, just because the German team beat a team that they absolutely should and kind of shellacked them, and I think that was really impressive and kind of opened up my eyes a little bit more towards Germany too. But I think the Ivory Coast Sweden last night was impressive, but there's a lot of long shots, and I don't know how repeatable that is. What things like Germany and what Ivory Coast did, and kind of in getting those results, I think those are 2 repeatable things. And I think the winner of that group is going to be really interesting, because I think their path into a quarterfinal or a semifinal is kind of set up pretty well. So if Ivory Coast somehow gets a point and wins the goal differential battle on Germany, they've got an interesting path to potentially go deeper than a lot of African teams have ever done in the tournament. So Ivory Coast is one to keep my eye on. And then I really enjoyed Korea and the chances that they created and how they played. And so I think South Korea is maybe one to kind of keep an eye on out of that Group A, with Mexico down there, because I thought they played extremely well against a Czech team that, in my eyes, on paper, maybe a little bit more stout, resolute, but they did a really good job of kind of outplaying them as a whole.
I don't know who you had winning this thing, but Spain was a very popular pick. France is also a very popular pick as well. Is what you saw earlier today possibly enough to make you switch your pick? Who do you have winning this thing? Who do you think could be a possible sleeper that could end up winning the World Cup?
Yeah, I think what's going to end up is the way the paths work. There's a very good chance France and Spain end up playing each other in the semifinals if they get there. I don't hold this result against Spain really too much. I liked what I saw from them. They're players like Nico Williams and Yamin Lamal coming off the bench. Those are guys that are normally going to start, and I think they provide an extra level of quality that over the 90 minutes would have put them out on top in a game like that. For me, Spain was my pick. I'll probably stick with them, and I'll say this. Argentina in 2022 lost their first game to Saudi Arabia, still won the World Cup. Spain in 2010 lost their first game, still won the World Cup. It's doable. It's possible. It's a 0-0 draw. It's not going to hurt them. That's a very winnable group for Spain, regardless of that result against Cabo Verde. So Spain's still my team, but really my choice, whoever wins that Spain-France semifinal is probably it for me.
That is Daniel Sperry joining us on the show. He covers soccer for the Kansas City Star Sporting. He also covers the KC Current. Daniel, man, we look forward to having you a part of this journey over the next couple of weeks, man, as we follow the World Cup. You're going to teach me so much about soccer over the next few weeks.
Good. I hope to teach you and all your listeners a little bit more about the global game. We love it here in KC, but especially more so around the world, and hopefully everyone gets a good glimpse of that.
Absolutely. That's Daniel Sperry joining us on the show today. He covers soccer for the Kansas City Star. Coming up on the other side, I have noticed something about the World Cup being in Kansas City. I'm curious if you guys feel the exact same way. I'll tell you what that is. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Right, soccer fans, listen up. If you'd like a proper celebration, come on, you know where to go this summer. Gordon Ramsay's steak inside Harrah's Kansas City is the place to be. Now, we're talking beautiful marble cuts, cooked to absolute utter perfection, and flavors you can't get anywhere else. Stop settling for mediocre and let me help you. Come in, sit down, and let my team show you how to cook a proper steak. Now, 21 or older to gamble, know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
My home's my happy place, but I started to notice those fading colors and peeling paint. I needed a team that cared about the details as much as I do. The CertaPro painters exceeded my expectations. Their free estimate was incredibly detailed and easy to understand. They brought fresh color and quality craftsmanship to our home. Whether it's interior or exterior, protect your home with the best. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Father's Day's right around the corner, and if you're looking for a great way to treat Dad, just make one stop at Hy-Vee. They have absolutely everything you need to make it his best day ever. We're talking about the best beef in the Midwest, from massive T-bones and grass-fed fillets to incredible Wagyu strip loins. Plus, you can grab a bottle of top-shelf whiskey from the spirits department or save 40 cents a gallon when you buy $50 and select retail gift cards. Skip the stress and get everything you need to celebrate Dad, all in one stop, only at Hy-Vee.
This Father's Day, crown your dad King of the Grill with a best in the Midwest thick-cut steak from Hy-Vee. Your dad deserves only the highest quality, hand-selected Midwestern beef. This Thursday through Sunday, stock up for summer during Hy-Vee's biggest steak sale ever. Score huge savings on all of Dad's grilling favorites, including T-bones, fillets, ribeye, and strip steaks. Don't miss the biggest steak sale ever this Thursday through Sunday only at Hy-Vee.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold. We all know this summer the world's best teams are on the pitch chasing the win. And if you're tired of watching from the sidelines, it's time to get into the game.
This is easy. Train like a pro over at Centric. Hands-on IT skills. Great instruction from coaches. Sound familiar? And, of course, a very deep employer relationship ready to put you on their roster in a job here in KC.
The clock's running. Build your skills, join the team, score your goal, and head over to Centric. Training built for the real world. Centric.com.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a data analyst.
Hey, what model did you use for these quarterly projections?
Astrology. If Mercury's in retrograde, sales tank. If Venus is rising, we crush Q4.
You built our revenue forecast off horoscopes?
Yeah, the Zodiac never lies.
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Join us at 96.5 The Fans World Soccer Headquarters at the Peanut in Belton on June 19th with Bink and Logan starting at 11 and kickoff at 2. Presented by Truly, the official seltzer of U.S. Soccer, and by Security Bank of Kansas City, boldly local since 1933.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Ford just announced employee pricing for everyone. You pay what we pay, and you still get the rebates and incentives offered by Ford, along with top trade value from Shawnee Mission Ford. American value for American values. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more in 26.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
East side 70 westbound slows at 31st Street, stays heavy overpass Van Brunt with construction. North KC 169 highway southbound, sluggish from 9 highway to the airport exit. Alan Carr 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. 913-586-7965. I live downtown, so I have a little bit of a different perspective than maybe some other people will have. Today, when I was out and about and I was walking around, and I saw a lot of soccer jerseys. A lot more soccer jerseys than I usually would see. A lot of international soccer jerseys, which makes sense. There's a lot of hotels there, a lot of people that are in town for the World Cup. No question about it. And this isn't even a knock. This isn't a negative to me. Just follow me. Some of the conversations that we've had for the last 18 months or however long it's been since this was announced that we were going to get the World Cup, I think our perception of what we thought was going to happen was that our city was just going to be completely overtaken by tourists and foreigners. People not from here were going to come to Kansas City. It was going to disrupt everything. You weren't going to be able to get around, and that it was going to be in your best interest to either stay home, not go anywhere, or try to get out of town for the summer. Now that the World Cup is actually here, is that anybody's experience? Because this is just my perception. It is obvious that the World Cup is here, but it doesn't really feel any different to me on how you are moving around the city than it usually is. So someone like Rob, who lives on the Kansas side, lives in that 135th area. Rob, is your commute any different to work than it usually is? Is your experience moving around, going to the grocery store, going to a restaurant, going to a bar, doing things, is it any different than how it usually is? Now, if you live downtown, I would understand how your experience would be a little bit differently. If you frequent downtown or work downtown, I would understand how your experience would be affected by this. But if you are telling me that through this entire month, it's only really going to be 6 days of inconvenience for the World Cup, that's not that bad. Now, I understand we haven't started a game yet, but we had FanFest this week. I was moving around just fine. I imagine you were also moving around just fine. I imagine you could go to your favorite restaurant for the most part. I imagine you could go to the bar. I imagine you could do all the stuff that you would usually do if the World Cup wasn't here. You have still had the ability to be able to do all of those things. That's why I say, I understand the World Cup is here, and you can definitely feel that the World Cup is in Kansas City. But based on how we talked about it for the year prior and what we thought it was going to be like, now that it is actually here and we are 24 hours away from the first game, this is no different than how it normally is to live in Kansas City. Rob, you're going to be able to get to work tomorrow on time the same way that you usually do. For those of you that live in Kansas and you also work in Kansas, I don't really know if your life is going to be inconvenienced by this that much. Now, if you live over by the stadium, if you plan on going to the game, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a different experience tomorrow. But based on what we have seen so far with us on the eve of the first game, I haven't really noticed anything different than how it usually is.
Now, listen, I'm not downtown. You live down there. I can only speak for what I've noticed. I feel the same way. You've seen the live shots of, FanFest and in and around FanFest. I've had friends go to FanFest. Alex Gold went to FanFest. You live downtown. I have other friends live downtown. They feel like there's a palpable buzz downtown, like it's a Big 12 tournament type of buzz, but it has not prevented them from living their life. I'm curious what tomorrow looks like because we know where Argentina is staying. They're staying up in Riverfront. They're going to have to get from there down to Kansas City Stadium. They're going to get a police escort. Algeria is going to come from Lawrence down 70 to Kansas City Stadium. They're going to get a police escort. I'm wondering if a game day you're going to experience a little more jam. I do think that experience will be unique to people in and around downtown, or if you live over by the stadium or take that commute to or from work, but they will be leaving probably around 3:34, 4:30, and that could jam up traffic. So tomorrow will create a unique situation, but if it's just, hey, we got to prepare for 6 game days, to your point, Kansas City can adjust to that. Kansas City can look at a calendar and say, hey,
it's 6 days.
Yeah,
it's 6 days. And that's why someone says, see that, I think it drastically changes tomorrow. I really think it depends on where you are in the city. If you live in Olathe and work in Leawood, I don't know if you're going to notice anything drastically different tomorrow. Now, if you work in Independence or you got to drive to Lee Summit tomorrow, yeah, you might notice a little bit of a difference if you go over that way. But just based on what we know, based on who is here, I don't know if it's going to be that different than a major Chiefs game. I don't know if it's going to be that different than what it feels like when a major concert is at Arrowhead. I just don't feel like it's really been that different. I mean, when there's a big Chiefs game in town, you see a lot of Minnesota Vikings fans that are here, or a lot of Steelers fans, or a lot of Packers fans. Like, they are out and about. I kind of feel like that's what this has been for the most part. I didn't really hear a whole lot of negative reports. I didn't hear a lot. It feels like a big football weekend. Now, a big football weekend that is going to extend over a longer period of time, but we are definitely, as a community, very well equipped to deal with traffic from 6 Chiefs games that we are talking about. But yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Text line, certainly tell me if I'm wrong. Hey, this thing is different. I've noticed this. Hey, I haven't been able to go eat here. I haven't been able to go eat there. There was a time there where it felt like every story was very anti-World Cup and anti how this was going to inconvenience us. I just haven't really seen any evidence to suggest that you are inconvenienced at all by the World Cup.
I will say this, something that will be unique is I want to see what the city looks like the Thursday the Netherlands plays here. Because you've seen, I've shown you the videos.
Yeah, the march, I've seen it, yeah.
It's going to be A 90-minute
Aren't they doing that downtown?
Mm-hmm. It's a 90-minute march.
I have to stay at your house.
From Power and Light to Fan Fest from, I believe it's
ain't that bad.
11 to 12:30, or maybe it's 12 to 1:30. But they're basically going to block off Grand for a march all the way up the streets. If you are a person downtown or a person that has to commute downtown, you will probably experience that. That's why I feel like Big 12 tournament's the best comparison, because there's a little bit of Argentina fans, a little bit of Algeria fans, a little bit of this fan base, that fan base. But I don't think it has overwhelmed the city the way people are fearful it would overwhelm the city, especially considering Kansas City is the smallest city that has World Cup matches.
Yeah, so again, text line 913-586-7965. I can only speak from my point of experience, but I was walking around down Power and Light earlier today. I was walking around near Union Station as I was doing my walk. I just really didn't feel any different than how it normally feels. Now, it's early in the morning. I imagine people are going to stop by. Fan Fest is going to be a big deal. I'm sure it was people down there when the United States plays. The United States plays on a holiday, so on Friday, it's Juneteenth. People are going to be off work, out and about. Yeah, people are going to be down there. But is that any different than when the Big 12 tournament is in town? Is that any different than when there's a major sporting event or a big concert downtown that you kind of know, hey, it's just going to be a little bit of a longer commute because there's just more people in this condensed part of town? I want to play this audio for you guys, and I imagine that many of you are not surprised by this. Darren Peterson is still causing problems. Now, I know that you thought it was just the Kansas thing, or maybe you thought it was just a money thing or NIL thing or a personality thing. I'm here to tell you that we continue to get more and more evidence that it's probably just the Darren Peterson thing. Here's the latest from Shams Charania of ESPN. So Darren Peterson is only going to work out for one team, the team with the number 1 overall pick.
Darren Peterson, potential top pick, visited with the Washington Wizards last week. But that's not the interesting part. The major wrinkle here, about a week from the NBA draft, is multiple sources tell ESPN that Darren Peterson has made the decision to only work out and visit with the Washington Wizards. He is not granting anyone else any access to him, any other workout or visit with him. He's only visiting with a number 1 pick team in the Wizards. I'm told Peterson has met with and worked out multiple times in Washington, D.C. and in the Los Angeles area with the Wizards. A.J. DeBonsa, the other player expected to be either the number 1 or number 2 overall pick, he went and visited with both the Wizards and the Utah Jazz. This is a case where my understanding is both Darren Peterson and A.J. DeBonsa believe they will be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft.
That's the latest from Shams Charania of ESPN. We don't got to spend too much time on this. I mean, you guys were tired of Darren Peterson. He was on Kansas, so I know you're certainly tired of him now that he could be a Washington Wizard or a member of the Utah Jazz. This just doesn't really seem smart to me if you were Darren Peterson. Like, if I'm him, now I'm not saying you got to work out for everybody. I don't think Darren Peterson is falling outside of the top 3, but I think it is in Darren Peterson's best interest to try to change as many NBA minds as possible. Think about how we talked about Darren Peterson a year ago, how basketball people talked about him. Think about the way that people talk about Darren Peterson today. He was being called the next Kobe. He was this next generation, going to carry the league. That's how people talked about Darren Peterson 1 year ago. That's not how. If I'm him and I'm healthy and I'm motivated and I'm focused, seems like it'd be in my best interest to go do a small tour, go show the teams that are possible, hey, I'm healthy, I'm motivated, I'm focused, I want to be here, explain what happened at Kansas, and that's behind me. All I want to do is play basketball, and if you draft me, I'm going to do the absolute best I can for you, and let's go try to win a championship together. This just feels like more diva entitled energy from Darren Peterson and his team. Even A.J. DeBansa's working out for multiple teams. I mean, there's a chance either Utah trades for you or you get picked number 1 overall by the Wizards. I understand why he would only interview with 2 teams. I don't really have any A.J. DeBansa questions. He played last year. He was healthy. He was maybe the best player in college basketball last year. There ain't really much I need to be talking to A.J. DeBansa about. I got a bunch of questions that I would love to have answered if I'm a team and I'm interested in drafting Darren Peterson, and he just won't show up. He won't answer our questions. He won't work out for us.
Now, I'm not trying to come off as a Darren Peterson sycophant, But isn't that probably what happened at the Combine? Like, he went to the Combine and worked out in full, did the physical stuff, and we know the NBA Combine's like the NFL Combine. It's not just the running around in shorts and a T-shirt. What matters is the interviews and that process. He presumably had his agent there, his entire team. I think this is a little bit overblown because he's going 1 or 2. It's either Utah or Washington. That is where he is going in the NBA draft, barring a trade and someone else picking 1 or 2. So I'm betting he met with, discussed, had all those things happen to him when he was being poked and prodded at the Combine, and now he's going to continue to do workouts on his own, but I don't need to meet with 20 teams. There's 2 that can take me. I want to meet with the Wizards. They want to talk to me more. This feels like something a lot of top picks in the NFL and NBA draft do. It feels pretty par for the course to me.
Yeah, I guess if I'm Darren Peterson, where I think part of it is just understanding how the media works and knowing how to manipulate the media, it is just another bad headline associated with somebody who has not had a good headline in a very, very long time. When was the last really positive Darren Peterson story? 6 months ago?
It might have been the dunk he had in the BYU game.
I mean, that's like an individual play. Think about it.
He also left the game.
Even ever since he left Kansas, it was the creatine story that not a whole lot of people bought into and believed the creatine story. They're like, wait, hold on. You were taking this, but you didn't know all the risk and no one was monitoring you. I mean, you're a guy that can make $1 billion in your life playing basketball. You were just off taking creatine and not drinking water or not hydrating yourself. Just Darren Peterson just doesn't really need too many negative, I don't want to be here, I don't want to play storylines. You got enough of those over the last 6 months, over the last 9 months. What you need is everything that happened at Kansas is behind me headlines. And this is just another headline in my mind that just continues to give me more and more pause, more and more concern about, hey, does this guy really want to play? Is this a guy that we can invest our future on? I would have some serious reservations about that if I was an NBA club.
Yeah, but how serious can the reservations be? Because where do you think he's getting picked? If you think these reservations are serious, he starts really falling down draft boards. He's Will Levis. He's, who was the guy who got caught with the bong on draft night? Laramie Tunsil.
Laramie Tunsil, yep.
He's going no worse than 3. So you say these major reservations. I mean, if 3 is the floor, it's hard for me to imagine.
Would you feel good about it? So, let's say you're right.
I would feel good about drafting Darren Peterson.
Let's say if you're 3, I'm going from Ja Morant to Darren Peterson. I don't feel good about that if I'm a Memphis Grizzlies fan. I know they got 2 completely different issues, and I'm not saying his issues are what Ja Morant's issues are, but you talk about handing off the torch from Ja Morant and all the nonsense that we had to deal with him, and now we've signed up for the nonsense of Darren Peterson. I just wouldn't be super excited about that if I'm a Memphis Grizzlies fan. I would not be hopeful if that is the case.
That's fair. I think that's why I wanted to put in context what a major reservation is. I don't think he's falling to 3, 4, 5.
I'm with you because NBA teams will always choose the talent over everything, even though there are so many other red flags that keep screaming at you. Maybe you shouldn't do this. Maybe this is a bad idea. But talent usually wins. And I would say more so than even in the NFL, NBA teams always think they can change you. Always. So there's a team that's going to see his ability and see what it's like when he is healthy, and they will think, hey, he's 19 years old. We get him in our system, a little bit more time to mature, a little bit more time to develop. He can turn into something special.
Text line brings us up. Is it possible that he had gotten word through the grapevine that there's no point to meet with anyone other than the Wizards because he's going to be a Wizard? And this is just bad framing of a headline that paints him in a negative light. I don't think that's the case.
The only way I think he goes to the Washington Wizards is if the Utah Jazz make a trade for the number 1 overall pick and they draft AJ DeBansta. Darren Peterson will not be the first player taken off the board.
I'm trying to see if you can bet on that on FanDuel.
Yeah, now if you were telling me that Utah, who has the 2nd overall pick, moves up to the number 1 overall pick and they want to go get AJ DeBansta and they are willing to sell the farm and give Washington a bunch of picks, and then Washington with the number 2 overall pick selects Darren Peterson, okay, you could sell me on that story if that's the case. Hey, we got a bunch of picks, we got a bunch of assets, we got a bunch of things, and we're going to move forward and we're going to hope that it works with Darren Peterson. But if we were saying outright, there is very little chance, in my opinion, that Darren Peterson will be the number 1 overall pick. There's just way too many questions about him for me to draft him number 1 overall. Darren Peterson is the kind of prospect that gets you fired. He's the kind of prospect that you believe is going to change things. It doesn't work out. And 3 years from now, you were doing a podcast on The Ringer. I just wouldn't stake my reputation to Darren Peterson, not with all the stories that we've gotten over the last 8 to 10 months about him.
I don't think he's going to go number one, but I don't think if the NBA draft comes and goes and he goes number one, I'd be shocked. Because you said it perfectly. The NBA, more than maybe any other league, drafts on potential and what you can be. And Darren's highlight tape from his senior year of high school, which is not that long ago, is as good as any you could see. So I don't think he's going to go number one. I think Debansta goes number one. But I wouldn't fall out of my chair stunned if they decided, hey, it's Darren Peterson time up in Washington.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to talk a little bit of Kansas City Royals baseball. The All-Star Game votes are out, and you know what? It's very, very positive for one of the Royals. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hey DQ fans, nothing could make Father's Day more memorable than a DQ cake. Treat Dad, aka Pops, Poppy, or Papa, to one of our delicious fudge and crunch cakes. Or get a cake in one of our other Blizzard treat flavors like Oreo cookie. Customize your DQ cake with a message that celebrates the big guy and all the wonderful things he does. Trust us, it's a lot more fun than a pair of socks or another wacky tie. Only at participating DQ locations. Happy tastes good.
This summer, grab a Truly Hard Seltzer. Light, bubbly, fruity, and make your dreams come truly. Join us for our game day watch parties on June 12th, 19th, and 25th at Peanuts locations. Truly Hard Seltzer, the official hard seltzer of U.S. Soccer. Visit odyssey.com/965thefan for more info on watch parties. And visit trulyhardseltzer.com/locations to find Truly near you. Hard Seltzer Beverage Company, LLC, Boston, Massachusetts. Hard Seltzer, 5% alcohol by volume. Please drink responsibly. 21 plus only.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Taking a look at the pro basketball futures market to win next season's championship, Oklahoma City opens the favorite at plus 250, San Antonio plus 270, Boston and reigning champion New York both at plus 700. And if I had to take one of those 4 teams at price, I would take New York at plus 700. Oklahoma City's probably the best team, but we just saw New York buzzsaw through the postseason. New York take care of San Antonio in the finals. New York plus 700, the price that I'm looking at right now. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
While the world watches the stars at the FIFA World Cup this summer, Hyundai has its eyes on the next generation of talent. The future stars who are already turning heads at age 14. Because next doesn't wait for an invitation. And neither do we. Hyundai has always moved the future within reach. We did it when we made advanced safety standard on every vehicle and engineered EVs with ultra-fast charging capability. Because the future isn't some far-off concept. It's already here. Next starts now. Hyundai, an official partner of FIFA.
The world's game at BetMGM is here. Bet on the soccer showdowns with 2-up early payout so that if you're up 2, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Place a pre-game straight match results bet on any tournament game. If at any point your team is up by 2 goals, you'll instantly win your bet. Then enjoy BetMGM same-game parlays, daily promotions, player props, and so much more for the world's game. Don't miss your shot at an early win with 2-up early payout to get paid out if at any point your team is up by 2 goals. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older. This promotional offer not available in Ontario, Pennsylvania, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. Available in the U.S. For New York, 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. New and existing customer offer, subject to eligibility requirements. Additional terms and restrictions may apply. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel, must be present in a state where it's legal to wager.
Join us for Parlays and Pints with Mac Morey and Drew Nixon at Beckett's in the Crossroads on Saturday, June 20th from 3 to 5 as we broadcast live along with our friends at Circus Sports. Sports betting the way it should be. CircusSports.com. 96.5 The Fan.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back, RENNER.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Don't let your garage door fumble this summer. Score big with our Renner Garage Door Summer Tune-Up. Plus, get free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door. Forward and back.
RENNER. Come score the shirt with 96.5 The Fan as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
A 2-car crash, 70 eastbound as you approach 435. Right lane is blocked. Down 35, that's a crash. Right lane blocked. 35 southbound past Lone Elm. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Follow the station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
All right, welcome back into the show. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll talk about Bobby Witt Jr., how he is performing right now in the All-Star vote. Rob, I just saw a review of House of the Dragon Season 3. That gets going this weekend. It is described as, quote, all gas, no brakes, Rob. Are you buying into this? Are you a believer? Because season two was all brakes, no gas. They are saying that Season 3 is the exact opposite. We're finally going to get to it.
Okay, I'll believe.
I'm just telling you what the people who have seen it. I haven't seen it. You and I are in the same boat. Don't snap at me. I'm on your side.
That show, Season 2, that show disappointed me so much.
What a waste of time.
We were in the office both so excited for Season 2 and just the worst. I'm watching Season 3, but I'm not optimistic in the reporting.
All right, I want to play this audio for you guys. So this is Rick Brunson, Jalen Brunson's pop. Rick Brunson is also an assistant coach for the New York Knicks. He also was on the Knicks team the last time that they went to the finals back in 1999. He was asked if his son is the greatest Knicks player of all time. Here's what he said.
I love my son. Patrick Ewing, the best Knick that I've ever witnessed.
Oh, I didn't say that.
No, I just want people to I'm
going to say it's going to be debatable.
Could be debatable.
No, it's going to be debatable now because the other thing, what he has done is he has ignited a culture that was not lit. It was the fuse was there. It was I called it the lamp that was plugged in with no power, and it was no power in New York, and he brought the power to New York.
I mean, I don't want to paint it like I'm some New York Knicks historian or anything, but I mean, you got to correct me if I'm wrong. Did Patrick Ewing win a championship? Because I don't know how you can be the greatest if you didn't win a championship And this guy did win a championship. Now, if we're talking about impact and longevity in those things, no, Brunson needs to do it a little bit longer. He's only played 4 seasons in New York, but Patrick Ewing, for all of his greatness, never delivered and never brought you a championship. Jalen Brunson has just done it. Like, there's a conversation that they should build a statue of Jalen Brunson inside of Madison Square Garden, like in front. Like, you should walk past the Jalen Brunson statue of the most important Knicks player that they have ever had. I'm ready to take it one step further with Jalen Brunson. I think he is the most impactful NBA free agent ever. Now, I understand there's been some other ones, and some of it is just what the expectations were when they got him. Like, he's not Shaquille O'Neal, who went from the Orlando Magic to the Los Angeles Lakers. Shaquille O'Neal, number 1 overall pick. There was a true bona fide sweepstakes to see who could go get Shaquille O'Neal. LeBron James left in free agency. Again, number 1 overall pick, generational kind of player. You knew when you signed LeBron James, you were signing championships. Like, we can go up and down the list. Like, every player in the NBA hits free agency and has a chance to switch teams. Very different than it is in other sports. There is not a single person who thought this was possible when the Knicks got Jalen Brunson. There is not a single person that debated and thought that the Knicks have a chance to win a championship because Jalen Brunson was on your team. He just put together one of the probably 10 greatest basketball games that we have ever seen in Game 5. I don't know if people are going to remember it that way because it wasn't a Game 7, but you go on the road in a closeout game in the NBA Finals and you score 45 points and the rest of your teammates score 49 and Karl Anthony Towns scores 2 points and makes 1 shot. OG Anunoby makes 2 shots in that thing and you only get 7 points from your bench and you go on the road in San Antonio and clinch that thing out with 45 points, the most that an NBA player has had in a closeout game of the NBA Finals since Michael Jordan. Yeah, man. So again, I'm not saying he's LeBron. I'm not saying he's Shaq. I'm not saying he's Kevin Durant, who's switched from Oklahoma City, went to Golden State and won 2 championships and won 2 finals MVPs. But if you were talking about what our perception was whenever the New York Knicks acquired Jalen Brunson and how the story is actually concluded with Jalen Brunson, there has never been a more important, there's never been a more impactful free agent signing in the history of the NBA based off what they got. He left $113 million on the table. That's the only reason they could win this championship. He took $113 million less. That's how they could go get a Mikal Bridges. That's how they could make a lot of the moves that they made. So I'm giving Jalen Brunson all of his flowers this week. He deserves all of them. Brunson's success actually got me thinking this. Now, I think New York's has like a bunch of kings. Like Derek Jeter's still Derek Jeter, right? Like Derek Jeter probably ain't paying for a whole lot of things in New York City. You know, the red carpet is always rolled out when you're Derek Jeter and you're in Manhattan. If you're Eli Manning, you won 2 championships while you were there, you know? If you're Reggie Jackson, you know, there are certain people that they could say that they're the king of New York, you know? Jalen Brunson is obviously in that conversation. I was wondering this, Rob. Who was that person in Kansas City before Patrick Mahomes? Like, the answer now is very obvious on who that person is. Like, who's the person that never has to pay for a meal? Who's the person that just gets showered with all of our love every time you go anywhere? Who's the person that would get the last table at the restaurant? Like, yeah, it's obvious. It's Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback of the team. Who was that person before Pat? I think the answer is Salvi, but I'm curious on who your answer was on who was the king of Kansas City. Like, if we were doing a power ranking, and we did this a decade ago, so before Mahomes is even on the team, who do you think would have been number 1 on that list? Because I think it would have been Salvi.
I think it would have been George Brett. I think George Brett carried the torch for like 40 years. I think George Brett was a huge deal in this town. And the Chiefs and Knights had Derek Thomas, but obviously we know about his, tragic passing. And I think the Royals team, the Salvi one is interesting to me. I think he was great, but that was a collection of guys. That was not one singular, he's our guy type of mentality. George Brett was the guy on those Royals teams. So I think the answer was George Brett before Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, this is the thing I would maybe argue about George Brett is, Rob, you and I have been somewhere where George Brett is. It doesn't feel like that when George Brett is in attendance. I'm not saying that George Brett wasn't the most accomplished person, but you and I agree. If Patrick Mahomes walked into the sports bar you were at, it would be a really, really big deal that he is there. If George Brett walked into where you were right now, I don't know if the place would have that level of energy for it. It's like some of the king of New York, some of that conversation is that uproar. If Jay-Z walks into the restaurant, there is a noticeable energy that exists there that I'm not sure if exists when George Brett is there. I'm not saying that to take away from anything that George Brett accomplished. He was by far and away the most accomplished Kansas City athlete before. But, I mean, I feel like that torch got passed in 2014 and 2015. Like, that's how Hosmer was for a while. Hosmer showed up somewhere. It was a really, really big deal that Eric Hosmer was there. I think that has to matter, at least for this conversation.
I think that's fair with this conversation. I also just think it's different when it's a current player. So, like, Hosmer had it for a while, but, like, we all kind of knew Hosmer's time in Kansas City was fading. That's why I think Brett still had it. Like, you're right. We've definitely been places where George Brett has walked in, and it's not like a huge buzz. But there's a murmur, and he played baseball 30 years ago. So I think there's he's one of ours forever type of cachet that has existed with George Brett.
No, for 100%. Again, I don't want anybody to say that this is me, like, trying to put down George Brett's career and what he accomplished. I'm just saying, like, I've been at a restaurant where George Brett was there, and, like, it is the energy that it has in 2016 when George Brett is there is not close to the energy it is when Patrick Mahomes shows up. It is not close between the two. So if we're saying that was the guy before, I disagree. I don't know if that's the case. That's why I think it's Salvador Perez. Salvi was that guy. Billboard, the splash. It was a really, really big deal if Salvador Perez was there. That's why I think at least before then, I would have said that Salvi is that person. Coming up at the top of the hour, let's continue our Royals conversation. I think Bobby Witt Jr. has crossed over. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Tune in to hear the Hall of Fame voice of the Royals, Denny Matthews.
There's a high fly ball, deep left center. That goes Ward to the wall. Gone. Bobby Witt Jr.
Every Monday at 3, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
The two-car crash, 70 eastbound as you approach 435. Right lane is blocked. Down 35, that's a crash. Right lane blocked. 35 southbound past Lone Elm. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
We'll get back to this topic here coming up in a little bit. But first, let me tell you guys about my friends over at Gates Barbecue. The World Soccer Championship is in town, and I want you to celebrate some world-class barbecue with our friends over at Gates Barbecue. With 5 locations around town, you are never too far away from that classic taste. We got a lot of visitors in Kansas City, and I want you to show them the best barbecue that we got. So be sure you take them to Gates. Get them that small party tray. Get them that large party tray. Maybe you plan on going to one of the games that we have over the next few weeks. Maybe you're going out there. Take yourself a presidential platter. Also, while you're at the grocery store, make sure you pick up some of their sauce. Make sure you pick up some of their seasons. Maybe you plan on grilling at the house to watch one of these games. Certainly a nice addition to whatever you are doing in the kitchen. My name is Carrington Harrison, and I'm here to tell you about my friends over at Gates Barbecue.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
Right, soccer fans, listen up. If you'd like a proper celebration, come on, you know where to go this summer. Gordon Ramsay Steak inside Harrah's Kansas City is the place to be. Now, we're talking beautiful marble cuts, cooked to absolute utter perfection, and flavors you can't get anywhere else. Stop settling for mediocre and let me help you. Come in, sit down, and let my team show you how to cook a proper steak. Now, 21 or older to gamble, know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Mia from the Winnings Desk. Every Missouri lottery ticket helps support Missouri public education. Over $8 billion and counting. I was going to list every school, but yeah, there's over 2,400 of them. See the full list at molottery.com/education. Play it forward and play responsibly.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code SNAP to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 22nd, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Join us on June 18th at Minsky's in City Market from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for our U.S. Open watch party as Cody and Gold broadcast live starting at 10 with your chance to win an official Sun Cruiser golf bag and more. Presented by Sun Cruiser, the official canned cocktail of the U.S. Open. 96.5, The Fan.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client betrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Join 96.5 The Fan at the Peanut in Belton on Friday, June 19th as Bink and Logan broadcast live starting at 11 with kickoff to follow at 2 o'clock. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Rob, I feel like maybe I didn't explain myself well enough, and maybe that's my fault. But a lot of people are arguing George Brett. I am not arguing that in 1987, was George Brett the guy? Of course he was. He's one of the 5 best players in baseball. They won a championship. No question. My question is, if you go back 10 years ago, Patrick Mahomes is not in our life. He is still at Texas Tech 10 years ago. He didn't get drafted until 2017. Who would you have said is the king of Kansas City the way that you would say right now about Jalen Brunson in New York? And my answer was Salvi. A lot of people are making the back in the day. Rob, we can move on from this, but this will be my question about George and why I think it has changed just over time. Rob, if you were at a KU game at Sprint Center and they showed that George Brett was there on the Jumbotron, how do you think people would have reacted to it? You think the place goes crazy because George is there? Because I don't think it goes crazy if George is there. I think people cheer, of course. I don't think it goes crazy. Now, a lot of people are making the point that that just changes over time. I think it's different with some people. You could show Derek Jeter at any New York sporting event, and that is going to be the same level of excitement. Some people said, what do you think was going to happen with Mahomes? I think Mahomes will just be like Tom Brady. I think Mahomes will be Joe Montana. Like, he's one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks of all time. There could be a time where Mahomes is the greatest living football player. Yeah, the excitement that people have for Mahomes will never die if Mahomes shows up. That's why I said, I think if you go back to 2016 and we have this same topic, who is the king? There was a time there where Salvi generated that kind of interest and that kind of buzz. Salvi could do anything and go anywhere and was just going to get showered with love. There was that time where Hosmer and Alex Gordon and those guys. So maybe I just wasn't clear early on. I'm not saying that there was never a time where George was that guy. He absolutely was that guy. I just think that eventually George passed the torch on to somebody else. And then eventually Derek Thomas had that torch for a little bit. And then Derek Thomas passed away, and then that torch was passed to somebody else. Now, I think Mahomes is just going to have it for the rest of our lives. I don't know if he's ever passing it to anybody else. But yeah, George eventually passed the torch of being the king.
I just think, maybe we're me and you different. I understand what you're saying. I think when it comes to those passing the torch moments, they were fleeting, and eventually the torch all circled back to George. Like Derek Thomas, after his tragic passing, I think that he was king of Kansas City for a while. And then 2002, 2003, I think it pivoted back to George. I don't think a Chiefs player, and like someone earlier said, Priest Holmes, I don't think any one of those Chiefs teams ever took it and grabbed it. I think there were moments, there were pockets, but it was consistently George until Patrick Mahomes arrived.
Yeah, someone says we didn't have one. I would just disagree. If you were around in 2015 and 2016, we absolutely have one. You remember that time where Eric Hosmer left the Justin Bieber concert? You remember that? And he got swarmed. We absolutely had a leader during this time. I don't think the crown was vacant at that point. I just don't think it was vacant. I think it was one of the Royals players that had it. Now, over time, it has faded, and the reaction if Salvi shows up will not be the same as it was back then. But, I mean, if Salvi announced that this was going to be the end of his career and he was finishing it out, Salvi would absolutely get everybody's flowers on the way out for everything that he has bodied over the last, it will be a lot of enthusiasm for Salvador Perez if he announced, hey, this is my last year. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, but I am retiring at the end of the season. A lot of people will go out to Kauffman and say their goodbyes to Salvador Perez. People argue he should have a statue out there. I think he should have a statue once he's done playing.
Yeah, there's an argument against it?
Yeah, he should absolutely have a statue.
They should have his number next to everyone else's out there. No one should wear 13 after Perez. I can't believe that's even a discussion.
Have you guys seen the most recent vote with the All-Star game? Now, for a time there, only Kansas City people were voting for Bobby Witt Jr. It's not to say that he was not a phenomenal baseball player. He's been a phenomenal baseball player for quite some time. But if you look at the voting, you can usually tell who has local support and who has national support. Like, Shohei Ohtani has national support, worldwide support. Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, those kind of guys, it's not just their fan bases that are pushing this person to start in the All-Star game. It's everybody around baseball. When you see this person's name on the ballot, it is very clear who you are going to vote for. Oh, I want to see this person. Did you guys know that right now, Bobby Witt Jr. has the second most votes of any player in the American League? That is not just Kansas City voting for Bobby Witt Jr. He has become one of those players. He's officially crossed over. I don't know what that exact moment was. Maybe you could say it was the WBC and how he performed in it. But at some point over the last 12 to 18 months, Bobby Witt Jr. has really started to cross over, and he has become bigger than just a Kansas City celebrity or a Kansas City superstar. He is one of those guys in baseball that when you see his name on the list and then you see all of the other shortstops that are there, it becomes a no-brainer of who you are going to vote for. This is kind of what Salvi was. To further the conversation we were just having, that's where Salvi was for a large portion of it. Well, who are you going to vote for at catcher? Well, it's obvious who I'm going to vote for catcher. Even if you're not from Kansas City, you're voting for Salvador Perez to start in the All-Star game. Right now, Bobby Witt Jr. has more than 500,000 votes, more than whoever in second place is. It is not a debate anymore on who is going to start at the All-Star game at shortstop for the American League. Bobby Witt Jr. is going to make his first start in the All-Star game, as he should. But as I was looking at it and I was going through the list, and I'm thinking, all right, well, who has more votes than Bobby Witt Jr.? It's just all players from significantly bigger markets than he is. It's Mike Trout in Anaheim. It's Aaron Judge. It's just bigger superstars, but he has absolutely crossed over and turned into one of those kind of guys that is going to get support all across Major League Baseball to start for the All-Star game.
I actually think his crossover is more impressive than Perez for this reason. When Perez crossed over and he was the, back when we got to fill it out with pen and paper and those little bubbles you got at the stadium, he was the automatic yes. But Salvador Perez was the yes because, remember, he was the MVP of the World Series. He was the face of the Royals' success. There was a reason why Salvador Perez carried that cachet. Bobby Witt Jr. is carrying that same level of cachet, having accomplished nothing really on the team level in baseball. Yeah, they won a playoff series, and he's been to one series. He didn't play well in that series. He's accomplishing this the same way Mike Trout was, where it's just such a foregone conclusion. Oh, that guy's a freak. I have to vote for him. He's a star. He has that stardom, though, while being on a team that is absolutely dimming that star. Like, Carlos Beltran was an elite baseball player. He was never a starter in the All-Star game in Kansas City. This is a very, very different type of aura, as the kids say, than Salvador Perez was for your comparison.
I mean, if you're just looking at the list right now, and I've got it pulled up, against so players who have more votes than what Bobby Witt Jr. does, it is Yordan Alvarez from the Astros, Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Ernie Clement. That's the list. So just think about the markets. Toronto, the Yankees, the Angels, the Astros. So that's, 3-4 of the 5-6 biggest cities in America that are supporting these people? So again, if you get as many votes as Bobby Witt Jr. has, Bobby Witt Jr. right now, let me pull it up. Bobby Witt Jr. has a little less than 900,000 votes. I mean, that's just really 75,000 votes behind Aaron Judge. I understand he's injured, but he also is the captain of the New York Yankees. It is not just Kansas City people stuffing the ballot box like this is 2015 to make sure that their guy is the starter. No, this is, when you look at all of the shortstops in the American League, it is now very obvious who you were going to vote for. There is only one option. There is only one choice if you were voting for who you think the American League representative is going to be. You're voting for Bobby Witt Jr.
It really is impressive that he's risen to this. I mean, we see it every day of people who live and work in Kansas City and get to watch the baseball team, that he's impressive. But the fact that, Steve in Seattle now feels the same way. The fact that a, person in Cleveland or Chicago or whoever feels the exact same way is a real win for Kansas City and highlights just how purely talented Bobby Witt Jr. is. Because this is not just name cachet. He is backing, it's not just name, there's game behind it too.
Text line 913-586-7965. We are off early today because of the Kansas City Royals. Let's recap things. Let's just go back here for a little bit and let's talk about the top stories of the day. I understand that soccer is not everybody's thing. I'm not really the biggest soccer fan in the world, but if the Royals are going to be what the Royals are, and it's going to be a somewhat quiet offseason, knock on wood, for the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, we got to talk about something over the course of the next month, and soccer is probably going to be that thing. There's 6 games in Kansas City. The first one is tomorrow. It is a defending World Cup champion, and the most famous soccer player in the world is playing in it. I'm sorry. Soccer's just going to come up in sports conversations over the course of the next month. And also, I got a very simple rule on this show. I talk about what you guys have determined you're interested in, and you are interested in soccer. Look at the ratings. The ratings are out from the USA game against Paraguay. if you are just counting the Fox broadcast, so we're not counting Telemundo, and we can get to the Telemundo numbers, but there are just other cities that just have more international influence than Kansas City. So Miami, for example, beat out Kansas City. Los Angeles beat out Kansas City. Kansas City is a very diverse place. I don't think anybody thinks it's Miami or Los Angeles when it comes to level of diversity. But if you were just counting Fox and removing the Telemundo numbers, Kansas City was ranked number 1 in America for the game on Friday between the United States and Paraguay. This was the top 5. Kansas City, Boston, San Diego, Dallas, and St. Louis. Kansas City had almost a 2-point higher share than what St. Louis had. So there is tremendous interest in Kansas City for this event, for watching the United States compete in soccer. And I'm going to guess that tomorrow when Argentina plays, because the game is in Kansas City, you are going to see a very similar number that a lot of people have tuned in to watch the soccer game at Arrowhead Stadium. I watched the game with Rob, and I can't remember if Rob and I watched the United States play the last time they were in the World Cup. I honestly don't really remember much about the last time they were in the World Cup. What did they do back in 2022? Did they do anything?
They lost in the round of 16 to the Netherlands.
Yeah, I can't really remember. That was when they were. That's when they were in like Saudi Arabia. I probably just wasn't waking up early to watch it.
And it was in the winter too, so it was at the same time as football.
Yeah, I don't even really remember the last World Cup, to be completely honest with you. Like, I know Argentina won. Could not tell you for the life of me who they played in the World Cup final. I don't really remember much about it, but I am watching this one. I am very much engaged. You can ask Rob. I've been texting them, watching them. I'm betting on it. I'm following this World Cup. I am engaged in this World Cup. I am excited about it. So we had a watch party. Now, it was optional for us to be there, but I wanted to be there. People are coming out. They want to see us. They want to talk. They want to watch the game. Cool. I'm happy to stay. I'm happy to watch the game. But I really stayed because I wanted to see what Rob's energy was going to be during the game. This is Rob's number 1 favorite team. I know Rob well enough that the United States men's soccer team is number 1. Kansas basketball is number 2. Kansas football is number 3. He loves American soccer. So I'm sitting there and I'm sitting next to Rob and we're watching it. And Rob is going through his phone because they announced the starting lineup. Rob is mad about the formation. Now, I don't know what this means. I mean, you might know what it means. I don't know what this means. You got 11 people. Stack them up how you're going to stack them up. But I know you better beat this country in soccer. Rob is talking to himself, mad at the formations. I saw him over there feverishly texting his little soccer buddies. Rob was very engaged. I just left him alone for a while. You know how somebody gets anxious before their team starts playing? Sometimes you just got to leave them be and let them do what they're going to do. But as the game starts, Rob starts to calm down. And, he's kind of into it. He's getting all excited. So we're watching the game, and the United States is playing very, very well. Rob looks over me and says, "This is as well as I've ever seen the United States play." Now, I don't know if this was me subconsciously trying to hate and try to bring Rob down, but I asked him, I said, "Are we good or are they bad?" Because I don't know a whole lot about soccer, but the team that they're playing, they look really, really bad. They are getting dominated. And Rob is just like, "No, man, see how athletic they are and see how they're attacking." And this guy, Rob was explaining at a level, quite honestly, I didn't need all that explanation, but I was happy and I was listening to it because that's my guy. Rob, I saw you start to dream a little bit about the United States. Now, you always laugh at me when I say this, but you cheer for Mizzou. You cheer for Mizzou in a different form. No, you don't cheer for Eli Drinkwitz or Dennis Gates. You cheer from Russell Crowe from American Gangster. That's who you cheer for. You cheer for a team that doesn't really have a history of winning, that whenever they show you, hey, there's a chance they could win, you're all in. I've never seen that glimmer in your eye before. I've never seen that level of hope and optimism and belief that you were watching something different. So, Rob, how are you feeling now? Because it could not have gone better on night 1 for the United States. They got 18 million people to tune in and watch the game. They dominated in the first 45 minutes, where they made it where the last 45 minutes were an absolute snooze fest. There was no reason to be watching that second half of the game because they had already won. Now coming up It's a Friday during the day. It's a holiday. A lot of people are going to be off. A lot of people, I think, are going to position themselves to watch the United States play against Australia. I expect a bigger number than what we saw on Friday night. How are you feeling? Where are you at right now with USA men's soccer as we are heading towards their second game?
Confidence is definitely very sky high right now. Listen, I told you on Friday, and you laid it out perfectly. That's the best I've ever seen them play. And that's no disrespect to the Landon Donovans. That's no disrespect to the Matt Beaslers, the Clint Dempseys. They've had good players that have played well before. That is the singular best performance the United States has ever put on in a World Cup. Now, you're right. Paraguay is not some world beater. The cross-border analogy I'll use, because we love cross-border analogies on this show, is...
That's my favorite.
The United States is a group of 5 college football team. Boise State. We'll just call them Boise State.
Okay.
They're good for what they are, but they're not Alabama. They're not Ohio State.
Right. But the thing about everybody respects Boise State.
Correct. This was Boise State got a home and home with a bowl team from the SEC. Because Paraguay qualified out of South America. Paraguay, as part of their qualifying, had to beat Argentina, and they did. They had to play to a draw against Brazil, and they did. So this is a South Carolina, a 6-6 type of team in the SEC, and you played them at home.
Pounded them.
They did.
Now, they pounded them.
People still walk away and say, okay, hold on. That's South Carolina. That's not the creme de la creme, but it is still impressive. If you do that again, you basically win your group on Friday. Then the way the tournament shakes out is it's advantageous. You'll play a third place team. That could be Bosnia. That could be Egypt. That could be whomever. And now you might be in the round of 16 against a team that you are on equal footing with, equal talent with. And this team showed last Friday that they might be the true golden generation that I've been screaming into the ether about, and they might actually break through and get to the quarterfinals. But much like my Boise State analogy, no one thinks they're Ohio State. No one thinks they're Alabama. No one thinks they're Notre Dame. But you know what they can be? They can be a team that goes to the quarterfinals, and we all walk away and say that was a good run by the United States.
Yeah, someone on the text line says, CDOT, the world can have soccer. It sucks. I don't want to pretend like I'm the biggest soccer fan in the world. I am not. I'm learning in real time. So I'm probably going to sound dumb. More dumb than I usually sound. Dumber than I usually sound. But I'm going to sound dumb at points. But I have just wrapped my brain around this is the Olympics for me. The same way that in the Olympics, you just start randomly watching things. Like, you have no clue what you're watching. But you just start watching the Olympics because it's on television. Oh, hey, this looks cool. That's kind of how I've treated the World Cup. If we didn't have the World Cup, I don't really know what we'd be doing on this show. I think it's going to be a relatively quiet Chiefs offseason. There are no contracts to sign, and we're all just waiting to see if Patrick Mahomes is going to play. Tomorrow, Rashee Rice gets out of jail. I'm hoping and praying that we don't have too many more conversations about Rashee Rice's off-the-field activities. I hope he has a pretty quiet summer. I think it's going to be real quiet on Chiefs news. I don't really have a whole lot of interest in breaking down what the Royals are going to do at the trade deadline for the next month. Not yet. I mean, I'll get there at some point. I'm just not there yet. So I just wrapped my mind around this is like the Olympics. I'm going to buy in for the next month. It'll end, and then I'll go back to the sports that I really, really like. Are you watching a whole lot of handball right now? Are you watching a whole lot of swimming or track? No, but I bet you do when the Olympics are on. So, yeah, that's how I'm treating it. So, yeah, what we got today? We got 2 more games tonight?
We got 2 more tonight.
I'll have it on the television. What else am I going to do? I got nothing else to do.
Tomorrow,
so, yeah, I'm watching. I'm supporting it. I'm excited to go home and watch the Argentina game tomorrow. It's in Kansas City. I can't wait to watch it.
Against Lauren's favorite team. Like that, Lawrence embracing Algeria has been crazy to watch. But it has also, the tournament's been good. I don't have the numbers for me. I'm betting Brazil versus Morocco did a big TV number. I'm betting on Tuesday Senegal versus France does a big TV number. I'm betting in group play when Croatia plays England, it's going to do a big TV number. So if you're not you, but if you're a person listening saying, well, I'm not watching and no one's watching, you're just wrong. People are invested in this tournament. You're seeing sellouts across the country.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird when it comes to liking sports. If you were telling me that the best version of what is happening, I will give it a chance. I'll watch it. Like, I've seen people eat before. I eat every day. If you tell me that these are the best eaters in the entire world and they're having a competition, yeah, I'll watch it. I've seen people spell words before. Not really that exciting. If you tell me these are the best spellers that we have, I'll usually give it a chance. I'll watch it. If you're telling me this is the biggest soccer event that there is, it's a month, it's happening during a time where there is nothing else really on television. I don't got the NBA. Hockey is over. The Royals are the worst team in the American League. I don't know. I'll give it a chance. I'll watch it for the next month. I'm not watching the EPL. You're not going to catch me now following the MLS. But for the next month, I'm team soccer. I don't know what to tell you. If you come over to Casa de Carrington, you're either watching Love Island or soccer. I don't know what to tell you. Those are your two options we got here for the next month. All right, my name is Carrington Harrison. We're off. We'll be back tomorrow. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.